Welcome to the term of illumination, where we learn all the physics concerning physics we do not know. We're not told, because it all involves the flat earth system. It's not the globe. We don't live on a globe, but we are told we live on a globe, and they ignore all the physics concerning the flat earth system, which answers all the questions. This is what I do on the site. I answer all the questions. And one of the questions was, whether this is from a scientist or some clued up flat earther, but I think it would have been a scientist, because they know they can't answer all the questions. So they asked me, this particular person asked me, why is it so hot in the middle of the day then? So it took me about 2 minutes to think, because I know the whole flat earth system, and so this is what the video is about. Why is that the hottest time of the day in the flat earth system? Well, that's the flat earth system. If you could look down on it, that's the flat earth. So if this is a bit too far out for you and you want to learn, you have to go back and check out a lot of my videos, because you can't learn flat earth systems in 30 minutes. So if you could look down on the earth, that's what it would look like. That's the northern hemisphere in there. This is the southern hemisphere all the way around here. So, and these lines are all the magnetic field lines. If you could see them, they're infinite. They're everywhere. And the sun, the real sun, the plasma sun, is right back here in the center of creation, which is right back in the center vortex above the Arctic. We don't see this place. It's back in creation, and we're the created, so you can't really go back into creation if you've been created. But anyway, it's if you go to the centre Arctic, you might find your way into it, but you'll never see it. It's a mirrored effect. It's all like the movie Enter the Dragon with all the mirrors. It hides that place, but it's there, and it's told in that myth where the fishermen get lost in this place in the Arctic. You know the one I'm talking about? Anyway, it's all hidden back there. It's a real plasma sun back there. So we just see the images cast out into our realm. Okay? It's the signs, just like the Bible tells us. So what you need to understand is the sun is in many places, but only seen in one. And this goes back to man's arc of horizon. He is always standing 90 degrees to his zenith. This is his visual perspective of the universe as he moves across the world. That's all he sees. Nothing else exists outside of it until he moves into it. Sure, you get a phone call from someone on the other side of the world, but visually it doesn't exist. It's all part of the energy, and that's you're going deep to try and explain that. But they're talking about this now: physics, consciousness, and all that. They're talking about things. If you don't see them, they don't observe. Doesn't exist. This goes back to that split electron experiment. And the story is, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, did it actually make a sound? Well, they're going beyond that now. They're saying, well, if the tree falls in the forest and no one's there to see it or hear it, it never happened. It never existed. So nothing actually exists outside of your realm. You're like the centre of the universe. The centre. You're like the black hole. And you see everything move around you. I've described all this in other previous videos. So anyway, you need to understand that the sun is in many places. It comes out of here and we see the projected image out in our realm. So everybody will see their own image. It'll be on this one magnetic field line at the same time. Anywhere along that line will be the same time of the day. You could have 20 million people living from anywhere from the Tropic of Capricorn to the Antarctic. They'll all have their own image at the exact same time of day. You know, the what do they call that actual timekeeping? Atomic timekeeping. The precise exact same atomic time, anywhere along there will be the same time, and they'll all see their own sun within their arc of horizon. So if it was midday, they would all have it there at midday. Before midday, anywhere down here, they'll all see it at that position, anywhere on that line. And anywhere on that line is also anywhere on this line. So that time of the day is exactly the same time of day as this. These are two hemispheres and they're mirrored. So as this time swings around from the northeast, this time swings around from the southeast. And then just drifts off that way. That drifts off west as this turns west. And that's how they marry together. That's how our realm actually works. So the question was, why is it the hottest at midday? And I went to try and describe it and ended up drawing this picture. Look, this is the Doppler shift, isn't it? And I've described in my videos that everything's a sound wave. The ecliptic plane is a wave. And the sun's in the middle, the black hole in the sun is in the middle. And these nodal points is where you see the planets, the image. The images of the frequency as they weaken. That's red shifting. Red shifting, this is blue shift. And look what you come back to, that's a sound wave. So the sun's approaching you to the blue shift and away to the red shift again. This is basically how it works. And if you track your stars, see it's coming out of the south, and it's all coming like this. And you say, oh, this is a globe theory, because look, you got a south pole and a north pole. No, this is only one man's arc of horizon. There'd be another guy here with the same image and he'll have his south pole and north pole, because every man is on a meridian. He's on a meridian north to south. Every man is on one, so every man will see his own north to south image. That's his south pole, that's the north pole. There's only one north pole, but there's many south poles, just like there's many suns. This is how man sees it. So there's a sound wave coming in, because everything's based on resonant frequencies. Our whole realm that's all it is. The light and sound, isn't it? And so you could just keep drawing like this, and look, it gets to a point where it's dead straight. The sun, the energy of the sun is right there. That's why it's the hottest time of the day. Then it starts moving away. Okay? And all this starts coming back to here, because this is all curled around. This ends up sort of curling around. It doesn't go to north, because that north is way up here, and if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's curling like this and passes back around like this. This is one man. If I centralize it to his meridian there, it acts like this. That's his time. If he stays on that meridian, that's his day. It comes out from the southeast, swings around, out to his west. He loses it in his horizon to the west. But it's actually carrying on right around like this. That's the back of man. That's the daylight side. So he's only seeing the one side, this side here. See how they turn into a globe? Because the individual man's perspective of the universe. Look, they create a globe. Look, this is going around like this. So sure enough, there's the equator, or midday. That's it. That's how you see your half a day or night. You don't see two at once. So it's all moving this way. Doppler shift, look, and it fades out again. It's quite buzzy. I just realised that. All goes back to that point there, this point here. Every man has one. All the celestial bodies actually do that shape back here in creation because of the S curve. That's the side elevation of the S curve of creation, the cycle all the celestial bodies take. But you look down that way, you get yourself a cardioid. where it goes down and then comes back up. That's your 24-hour day. Winds down and comes back up. There's a 24-hour day. It's all hidden way back in here and reflected out. Because as this image turns, it's projecting its image out here. Okay? So that's why you see that the sun is the hottest during the midday. That's how it works. So there's your sound, there's your speaker. Is science going to teach you that? No, but they know that. That's where they came up with the Doppler shift and all that. Because they know this, they know all the system, but they want to keep it with your ball, your globe. If they keep you fixed on a spinning ball globe theory, they've controlled your mind. And they can make up stories like going into space and all these rockets, and your tax dollars have to pay for all that. So these billionaires at the top running the world, they're just pocketing a lot of that money. Where do you think they get their money from? It's all siphoned through through the lie. Okay? So there you have it, everyone. Pretty straightforward if you understand if you want to learn the flat earth system. This is a tropical gap around here, okay? Tropical gap is where all the magic happens. All religion's about this gap. And why is South big and the Northern Hemisphere is so large? You have to look at my videos. You have to understand that's a toroidal field and it all expands out from the centre. So if the whole field is expanding out from the centre and we're all light and resonant frequencies, we are going to expand with it. We're expanding in that field. This is why the South is so big. But man, when he travels north to south, he is expanding with that field. It's all relative to the observer. Everything in the field, every living thing, is expanding in the field with him. So he's not to know. If he's out here, he can't tell what size this person is back here now. And this goes back to the man's arc of horizon again. Why? We only see so far. Otherwise, if we started seeing all this expansion and contraction, it'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it? So this is the perfection of God, what he's created in our realm. We only see so far. Man's arc of horizon. The ancient Egyptians have written all about it. Tell us. But people just ignore it. Because they don't understand the flat earth system, so they can't connect anything. If you want to connect all religion and all myths and legends, all the ancient philosophies and that, you have to understand the flat earth system, then it will all make sense. It's straightforward. As soon as you understand how the flat earth works, it all starts to make sense. And this is what I do on my channel. But to me, it seems easy and I'm explaining it quite well to me, myself. I think it's quite easy. But apparently, most people just aren't clicking that, can't get it. So, you know, I don't mind getting questions, so I'll answer them. I can answer all the questions. You can't debunk me. I could debate any globie and make real dicks of them, but you just can't. You don't go there because they don't know the truth. So all they're going to do is start going on about their science and mathematical equations, which mean nothing. It's all garbage. And I'm going to be talking about the truth. So where's the debate? I mean, they don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't want to know all the bullshit they're talking about. So there's no real debate. They don't know unless they learnt this first. And they're not wanting to because they're just dead set that the globe's, that's it. It's mind control and false indoctrination. So you guys who want to wake up, you just follow me. It's all here. Okay, so subscribe, put a likes up, because YouTube is, you know, they've got a strangle on my site. They control all the comments too, so if you don't think I'm shutting down your comments, because I'm not. It's all open. And you might want to get on my Patreon page, because everything seems to go through there these days, or most things. And you get, if you get in the higher tier, you get your own videos and stuff that the public won't get for a long time. I explain, you know, the deeper meaning of things. Okay, hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something. It was quite buzzy for me too. Thanks guys, cheers.